The great Indian opposition is cracking from the centre. The latest tremor comes from Maharashtra, where Uddhav Thackeray's Sena is facing buzz of MPs drifting towards the Shinde camp. In Bengal, the TMC has seen resignations and internal unease. In Aam Aadmi Party, Rajya Sabha MPs quit, including Raghav Chadha. And now in Uttar Pradesh, OP Rajbhar has claimed that Samajwadi Party could be next in line. But the bigger question remains, is the opposition being broken by the BJP or is it collapsing from within? Maharashtra is the latest flashpoint. Reports of UBT MP moving towards the Shinde camp have put Uddhav Thackeray's party under pressure again. For the BJP-Shinde alliance, this is political momentum. For UBT, it is another survival test.
हमारे साथ है सर, अभी आप लोकसभा स्पीकर से मिल के आ रहे हैं, क्या लोकसभा स्पीकर साहब ने मांग की है?
लोकसभा स्पीकर साहब से इतना ही रिक्वेस्ट किया है, अगर कोई आता है हमारा नाम लेकर के हमें शिवसेना है, हमारा एक गढ़ शिवसेना है, तो पहले हमारी बात सुन लीजिए। हमने क्या और जो नियम और कानून है, जो संविधान है, उसका पालन होना चाहिए।
स्पीकर ने कुछ कहा, बाकियों ने समय मांगा है उनसे?
नहीं, स्पीकर साहब बहुत ही सीधे सरल आदमी, मुझे मालूम है, मैं हमेशा उनका आदर करके आया, बहुत कम लोग हैं और बहुत ही हमारी अच्छी बातचीत हो गई और नियम और कानून का पूरा ध्यान रखेंगे स्पीकर साहब, मुझे विश्वास है।
बागी ये कह रहे हैं कि ठाकरे जी को समय नहीं देते, बात नहीं करते थे, जो जरूरत थी।
अरे ये बागी नहीं, ये डरपोक लोग हैं, ये करप्ट लोग हैं। अभी क्या उनको टाइम क्यों चाहिए? जब चाहिए मातोश्री में आ सकते हैं, बैठ सकते हैं, बोल सकते हैं, कभी भी आ सकते हैं। ये झूठ बोल रहे हैं।
This is not an isolated story. The TMC has seen high-profile resignations. 20 of its Lok Sabha MPs have moved towards a separate bloc with talks of a merger route and support for the NDA. The Rajya Sabha story is equally damaging. In that same week, 3 TMC MPs resigned: Sukhendu Sekhar Ray, Sushmita Dev and Prakash Chik Baraik. Sushmita Dev's meeting with Assam Chief Minister Himanta Biswa Sarma has only fueled speculation of a possible BJP shift. The rebels are now looking at the NCPI merger route because forming a separate faction inside the Lok Sabha could run into anti-defection and constitutional hurdles. TMC has already told Speaker Om Birla that the party remains indivisible, that no separate group should be recognized. The Speaker is expected to hear both the rebel MPs and the Mamata Banerjee-led side before taking a call. And in the state, the matter is in the court. So the court will decide which is the real TMC. And just before TMC AAP faced Rajya Sabha exit, including Raghav Chadha and 8 others, UBT is battling alleged internal feud. And now SP has been dragged into the same churn. OP Rajbhar has claimed that a major split is coming in the Samajwadi Party and alleged that the SP leaders are in touch with the centre. The SP has rejected the charge. Akhilesh Yadav has hit back with his Dana Gana jibe.
आपको एसआईटी का मेंबर बनाया जाएगा। भाई आप मुझे सुनिए, आप दाना और गाना कब तक चलेगा ऐसा अफसाना? नहीं समझ पाए तो कोई बात नहीं।
And Mr. Raut, on the other hand, has used the word minimum support price for the political haggling that is taking place. So the big debate is whether the BJP is engineering these splits or whether the opposition is paying the price for a weak leadership, internal ambition and lack of cohesion. From Bengal to Maharashtra to Delhi to Uttar Pradesh, the anti-BJP space looks increasingly unsettled. My question is this unparalleled in Indian politics, or was something like this happened in 1967 when Sanyukt Sarkars were in place at that point of time? That's for the debate. On this issue, I am joined by Dr. Ashwani Kumar, Professor Tess, Shikha Mukherjee, Senior Journalist, Arun Anand, Author and Senior Journalist, and Professor Prasanajit Biswas, Professor of Philosophy from Northern Eastern Hill University. But let me straight away go to Dr. Ashwani Kumar. Sir.
जी
बताइए, what should they take?
I guess, you know, I've been talking about and while reflecting on Bengal election and the decimation of the TMC, I was also trying to look at, you know, the larger, you know, party system and the reordering and the reimagination of the party system led by BJP dominant system. In fact, I have been for some years have been using, you know, Rajni Kothare's thesis that how, the Congress system, which Congress has completely decomposed and has become a southern party, I mean, I say to so, and the BJP is currently leading, nationalized, what I call nationalized party system. In this nationalized party system, if you look at, how BJP is not merely occupying a space vacated by a weakening and shrinking regional force, it is also actively restructuring the political electoral field while reworking the federal order itself. So what I'm suggesting that India is evolving into a BJP dominant federal party system in which regional parties are shrinking in electoral reach and national influence. And if people are still thinking about, comparing anti-Congressism and anti-BJPism, I think it sounds like Mungeri Lal ke Haseen Sabse. If it is not a political fantasy,
Professor, why is it happening now? Congress still has
I think
100 seats in Lok Sabha. It should have happened in 2014 with 44 or 2019 with 53 seats. It's happening in 2026 when they have 100 seats.
Karthike, if you look at, the larger, behind all this, which sounds familiar, as you refer to 67-71 era of, defection, merger and splits, I think that's not true. It sounds like structurally similar. But if you look at, today what's happening, it is triggered by a larger social and political churn going on in India. And BJP is letting that, nationally, that social and political churn, Congress was not decimated because it became electorally weak overnight. It was decimated by the rise of Mandal forces, the era of social justice. Let's not forget that, So coming back here, trying to look at, the larger structural reality of how these mergers and splits are also rooted into a reimagination of the federal order structurally, culturally, and socially, which BJP is currently leading. Like it or not like it, I repeat, it sounds like Mungeri Lal ke Haseen Sapne. If you think about, dominating once again in terms of opposition unity and defeating BJP, at least for the short term and the middle term.
Okay. Arun, your opening comments?
Karthike, I think, for a political party to exist and to grow, especially at the national level, so there are 4 basic requirements. So one is basically, you need to have charismatic leaders. Then you need to have an ideological roadmap. You need to have cadres, and you need to have a set of people who purely work for the organization as the eternal backroom boys, who never are interested in becoming, coming to the electoral politics. Now, if any of these elements are missing in one or in any political party, so its growth, it might, like as you said, that Congress has got 99 seats or 100 seats, but that is not sustainable. And especially, see, every political party tends to lose elections. BJP was at 2 in 1984. So when such things happen, if you have an ideological fulcrum which is there, then you can always bounce back. But if power is the only ideology which you are pursuing, so then you have a problem. And in fact, the decimation of Congress started, from late 1960s onwards, when Congress lost its ideology and it became a pocket borough of, the Gandhi family. Earlier, Congress still had a certain kind of basically ideology. But, you can also draw a parallel with the left, because left has, but what left has done, one, it didn't have charismatic leaders. And second, their problem was basically, that they were disconnected with the feelings on the ground. And one last point which I want to make is, it takes a long time and a lot of patience. Bharatiya Janata Sangh, which is the precursor of BJP, was formed in 1951. But before that, RSS was set up in 1925. So for 16 long years, they were working very quietly. And then with the backing of the RSS, the Bharatiya Janata Sangh was set up. And it kept on, losing elections. It kept on losing elections, but it kept on building its cadre base. And one more point which I want to make, which I see in all other political parties, the fresh blood is not introduced in the form of cadres. BJP has a certain way, like, Akhil Bharatiya Vidyarthi Parishad, which is the student kind of organization. So if you look at the current cabinet, if you look at the current leadership of the BJP, most of them have an ABVP background. So there is a set structural system with which you are infusing fresh blood.
Okay. Shikha, your opening comments, and you can contextualize why the TMC exploded, and you may also take other cases like UBT, Rajbhar, Samajwadi Party, or 1.5, 2 years ago, what happened in ADMK. To you, madam.
Okay, thank you. Kartikeya, I kind of contest the fact that the BJP is the only choice left in the Indian political landscape, or for voters for that matter. Why I'm saying so is because if you look at the regional parties, they do exist, and the fact that they are splitting, the way in which, for instance, the Trinamool has split, or the AAP's legislative numbers have declined, is an indication that there is substance in these parties, and that the substance is what needs to be broken in order for a larger political gain for the BJP to be had. What is it that they're looking at? If you look at the fact that where comes the break in the course of since 2024, a course of events from 2024, it comes with the West Bengal election. Why? Because that is when the Mamata Banerjee party is defeated. That defeat, if I may say so, was preceded by large number of statements coming from the BJP saying during the campaign, saying that 30 and 40 MLAs are in conversation with them, and that MPs are very disgruntled, and they have every reason to be so. Why? Because there was a certain authoritarian structure, authoritarian form of management within the Trinamool Congress, which was causing a lot of people a lot of discomfort. But the fact is that, they put up with the discomfort till the defeat happened. Okay. And that is where the break comes. But if you look at the way in which it has broken, it's fascinating. All the concentration about the break that we are discussing at this point in time is of the parliamentary party. We are not talking about the legislature party. The parliamentary party, if you know, as you do know, they sort of said that we are going to sit as a separate bloc, then realized that the defection law would hit them, and then comes these consultations in the House of
Shikha, I'll come to you. I think there's a little break in your line. Let me fix that. Prasanajit, your comments, is BJP bringing about these splits, or they are happening because the leaders in these regional parties feel that, they don't have any future there. Like Sushmita said that there is no politics for me if I stay in Trinamool. I have to be part of BJP.
People like Sushmita are sort of greenhorns in politics. They are not to be taken seriously. What Mamata Banerjee is doing, what Akhilesh Yadav is doing, what Uddhav Thackeray is doing, that has to be taken very seriously. And that is where federalism lies. Federalism is in terms of equity-based participation. It's not in terms of clandestine breaking of the party and doing some machinations by which a party can be broken overnight. And party is broken by paying money, by taking this money from the corporate, from various kinds of crony capitalists. And that is a dangerous tendency in Indian democracy because it will sell off all our national resources. It will privatize all our mines. It will destroy all the forests. It will take away all the livelihoods. And therefore, the larger political economy issue cannot be subsumed under so-called federalism that Austin has been speaking about. Federalism has to be understood in terms of political economy, Professor Kumar. And then we will understand which actors are playing which role, why they are getting sold off, why they are changing sides. All these are causal and consequential matters. These are not happening in vacuum. And regional parties are still existing. Look at the tamasha. This TMC's 20 MPs are joining a regional party called NCPI. Why can't they join a national party? Because no national party will accommodate any defectors like that. Therefore, the whole game of defection is just a kind of an aberration to the Indian democracy and federalism. We have to look at who are those aberrant elements and what is their motivation, how they are being tricked into this kind of a work which breaks the ideological core of a party, but public is looking at it and they're looking at it in utter dismay. And therefore, it is not acceptable to the broader democratic public of this country. And they are making themselves a laughing stock, losing all legitimacy. And therefore, this kind of an action is utterly condemnable, I would say.